Wow, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Yes, we have not refilled our seats with prayer books. So if you don't have a seat door, they're out in the hallway. Or right there. There's a few that Nestor brought in. Let's start with a little Hine Matov. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achiot gam yachad. Hine Matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov shevet achiot gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achiot gam yachad. Come on up.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm Keith Ketover, member of the board, and it's just my pleasure to welcome you to tonight's Shabbat services. I don't really have anything else to share with you, but I guess I should do my duty and remind you all of the match that we have for our annual campaign for new and increased donations. So please help us take advantage of that. But otherwise, I hope we have a nice kickoff to a wonderful weekend. So.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you for being here. And Shabbat Shalom to everyone who's online. We are going to start with our candle blessing on page 2. As we ease our way into Shabbat. Some of us don't know if it's morning or night, what day it is. I have been very confused all week about what day it is. Awesome. I know, what's happening? Maybe I should just go for the actual candle, not this candle. There's no wax on this one. It's not, it's these ones that have the wax. We don't need you, helper candle. Sorry, don't want to hurt your feelings. Didn't mean to do that. While I'm waiting for all these to light. So, decided that I knew it was unlikely that my kids would attend much of Yom Kippur, but I felt like they should be here for Yom Kippur. So they were for much of it. But then also Noah took them to go get food and all the things. And ice cream, apparently. Okay, we'll have. So then at the end of the day, Milo was like, Yom Kippur is actually a pretty good day. And Noah's like, yeah, you're not usually like getting ice cream and going to the bookstore and like all the things. So anyway, so glad I'm teaching my children. I don't know what I'm teaching them, but anyway, very happy Shabbat is here. Let's join together in our blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Okay, any simchas? Woo! Oh my gosh. Wow. Crazy. Johanna? Congratulations. Mazel tov, Sally, on making it through Yom Kippur. Johanna? All right. Small improvements. Okay, good. You ate dessert first? Yeah, way to go. Yeah, no, that's a win. And this surely a simcha. There is joy in having dessert first. Yes. Amazing. Anything else? Yes, Marty. Oh, say that again. Start over. Ooh, your friend left her house? Okay. After 5 weeks, finally made it to the house, and it was sunny. That's great. Marty. Ooh. Quinn moved into his apartment all by himself. Amazing. Anyone else? Yeah, Serena. Food. The joy of food after not having. It's like the classic, Jewish folk tale about the animals. Yep, exactly. All right, let's join together in our blessing. Page 5. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu. V'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom tehillah lemikra'e kodesh, zecher letziyat Mitzrayim. Ki vanu v'charta V'otanu kidashta mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinhaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-shabbat. L'chaim. All right. We are going to jump right into our Shabbat prayer poem, Welcoming the Sabbath Bride, L'Chado Dia, on pages 20 and 21. And we'll sing together. Verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. Lechatoti likatkala yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lechatoti likatkala yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, hishmianu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'litchila. L'chadoti likat kala yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadoti likat kala yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'lecha, ki mekor מעשה בין מחשבה תחילה לחדותי לקראת קלה יללה 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 בני שבת נקבלה לחדותי לקראת קלה יללה 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 בני שבת נקבלה התעוררי התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי 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 שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נקרא לחדותי לקראת קלה יללה 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 בשבת נקבלה לחדותי לקראת קלה יללה 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 בשבת נקבלה בואי ושלום התפלה גם בשמחה ולצות עולה תוך אמונה עם סגולה בואי קלה לחדותי לקראת קלה יללה 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 לשבת נקבלה לחדותי לקראת קלה יללה 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 לשבת nekabelah. We're going to remain standing and turn to page 28 for the Baruch Hu, our call to worship. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Vad HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Vad. You can go ahead and be seated, and we will turn now to page 31 for Ma'ariv Aravim. Let's join together at the top of page 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, HaMa'ariv Aravim. Ahavat Olam is on page 32. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Avta, Amcha Avta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachbenu, v'kumenu nasiach b'kukacha, v'nismach b'divrei תחלל לבד, כי הם חיינו, באורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, נגע יומם ולילה. ואהבתך תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. Turn to page 34 as we join together in Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתן לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרוהו, ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, v'hiyod lachem l'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet. On page 39, we have a prayer to lead us from Ve'ahavta into Michamocha. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. You can join me. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again, we can move oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages our vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Prayer for freedom for all people. Michamocha is on page 40. Adonai, mi kamocha On page 42, we have Hashki Venu, our prayer asking for God to help us know safety, know peace. KNOW, know. Have a sukat shalom, a shelter of peace. And to help us to walk the words of the prophet Micah, to be walking in the way of justice. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, Hamidenu shomri, nu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomri, nu lechaim. Oh, guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps, and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Ufros Aleinu Sukkah Shalom Lecha. Ufros Aleinu Sukkah Shalom Lecha. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, Hamidenu shomri, nu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, Hamidenu shomri, nu lechaim. We move to our prayers, which are really prayers of blessings for the world and for the Jewish people and for safety, into the Amidah, which is our chance to have a personal moment of prayer with God. So that begins on page 46 with Adonai Svatai, asking God for help to be able to pray. Open our lips. So if you're able, we'll rise. We'll join together. Ananana na 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 Adonai. Ananana na na Svatai Tifta. Ananana na 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 Ufiagi. Ufiagi Tequila Taha. Ananana na 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 Adonai. Ananana na na Svatai Tifta. Ananana na 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 Ufiagid. Ufiagid Tequila Taha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanoro, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, Zocher Aste Avot V'imahot, Umevig Ula Lifnei V'nei Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezra Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Atah Rav LeHoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Shnei Afar, Michamochak B'Gevurot, Melech, Melech Mimit Umechayeh, Matzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman Atah L'Chayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh, U'Kadoshim B'chol Yom Yehallelu Chasala, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. We will take some time now for our own personal prayers. Whenever you are either finished with your prayers or ready to be seated, you can go ahead and be seated. We'll join back together in a few minutes. Before we join together in our prayer for peace, which is on page 62, let's read together on page 63. It is kind of a long reading, but it's worth it, I think, in my humble opinion. Please join me. We reach for you, our God, from our quiet places. May we stand still for a brief moment and listen to the rain. Stand still for a brief moment and watch the play of sunlight and shadow on the leaves. For a brief moment, listen to the world. Let us stop the wheels of every day to be aware of Shabbat. Find the stillness of the sanctuary which the soul cherished. Renew the covenant of an ancient people. We need a quiet space to test the balance of our days, the weight of our own deeds against the heaviness of the world's demands. The balance is precarious. Study us with faith. Quiet places and stillness where we will hear our own best impulses speak. quiet places and stillness from which we will reach out to each other. We'll find strength in silence, and with this strength, we will turn again to your service. The balance is indeed precarious. Our prayer for peace, so say shalom, is at the bottom of page 62. There are many demands from the world right now, most of them seeking some sort of peace, needing all the places that desperately need some more peace. And so on the Shabbat, we ask for God to help us bring that peace about, to be partners with us. Because it's perhaps too much for humans to bear alone. I don't know. Ose shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'alkol Yisrael v'yoshvei tevel v'yimeru Amen v'yimeru Amen v'yimeru Amen. V'yimeru, amen. May we find peace. May we find peace. May we find peace. Amen. May we find love. May we find love. May we find love. Amen. 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 Amen, amen, amen. Amen, amen. Amen, amen, amen. Amen. We're going to turn to page 253 for our prayer for healing. Misha Berach. We as a community are thinking of many people that are either members of our community or directly related to members of our community. Thinking about Jacqueline Tara Smith, Deborah Rose, Eileen Kreisman, Ronnie Haber, Ellen Gottlieb, Vanessa Bianco, Paul McCready, Glenn Letts, Carl Wilhite, Cindy Balin, Patty Newby, Georgia O'Donnell, Janine Morris, Ron Louie, Sally Wildison, Marnie Good, Sylvia Angel, Marion Laird, Sheldon Robert, Lisa Bush, Patricia Barber, Kyle Asadorian, Paul Norris, Stephen Thrasher, Laura Halper, Bob Cook, Tora Knapp, Jason Getler, Nina Schechter, Amanda Young, Caleb Chesner, Wyatt Curcio-Lawner, Tom Anderson, Mary Wilhite, Stephen Shuckman, Jennifer Stock, Roger Phillips, Martin Goldstein, and David Greenblatt. In addition to all those names, we are all holding in our thoughts all the people who were affected by the attack at the synagogue in Manchester yesterday on Yom Kippur, and also thinking about all the people in our country who are directly impacted by all the funding that is cut as a result of the government shutdown right now, and just knowing that that has real impacts on people who tend to be the people in our country that already are struggling to get by. So, other names, people that we're thinking about. Let's join together the middle of page 253. Mi sheberach avotenu mekor habracha libotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. All right, I have to say that one thing I really am appreciating about the new size of the room is that I can hear you all so much better. It's really nice for me. I don't know how it is for you, but I like it. I come with a story tonight. This is a story to get us ready for our holiday that is just around the corner. It's called an etrog as big as a horse. Once there was a poor man named Yechiel. Yechiel had the same wish every year. All he wanted was to have the most beautiful, fragrant etrog that he could have for Sukkot. But the good etrogim were very expensive because they had to be sent all the way from the land of Israel. And so at the market, there were ones that were very nice and expensive, and there were less good ones, and those tended to be the ones that he could afford. But each year he would try and save as much as he could, thinking maybe this year I'll be able to get one of the good etrogim. But year after year, he was only able to save enough for the small, kind of shriveled, a little green-tinted etrogim. Even so, that didn't stop him from really delving into the joy of the holiday, especially when he would wave his lulav with his etrog and he would march around with everyone at his synagogue. And every year he promised himself, this year I am going to work harder, I'm going to save even more money, and that way I will be able to buy the largest, most exquisite etrog. He didn't want it to show off. He wasn't a show-offy type of guy. He didn't want to, it wasn't like to compete with anyone. That was not his intention. And so every year his wife was like, Yechiel, why are you so obsessed with this etrog thing? Why, of all the things, why are you trying to get the most expensive etrog? He's like, how do you not understand? Because the etrog is like the apple of paradise, they say. I've heard that perhaps the etrog is the very fruit that grew on the tree of knowledge in the Garden of Eden. And his wife was like, oh, really? Where'd you hear that? Were you there in the Garden of Eden? Mocking him. And he was like, don't laugh at me. I know I'm not a learned man, and I don't study a lot because I can't read Hebrew, so it's hard for me to study the Talmud and the Torah and all the things. But I do remember everything the rabbi says. And I remember how the rabbi talked about the woman in the Garden of Eden and how she wished to eat from the fruit of the tree. And the rabbi used the Hebrew word ragag for desire, but this is a little embarrassing. I really thought that the rabbi said etrog, not ragag. And so when I asked him if that was right, that it was an etrog, the rabbi pointed out that, no, technically that is not what it says. It says ragag, but you're not alone, Yechiel. You are like-minded with the rabbis because they hear the commonality between ragag and etrog, and that is why the rabbis do say that the etrog may have been the forbidden fruit that was in the Garden of Eden, because Yechiel loved puns, wordplay, so that one stuck with him. And his wife was like, all right, okay, fine. I guess if you had that conversation with the rabbi. Besides, he continued talking as though now he'd, gotten on his etrog soapbox. You know that the etrog represents the heart, right? And I always feel such joy in my heart when I have an etrog, when I smell it. It has that lemony fragrance. And I want a really extraordinary etrog so that I can have an extraordinary Sukkot for all 7 days. She's like, okay, I hear you. All right, fine. We'll save our money. So all year long that year, Yechiel worked harder. He took on more jobs. He worked in the evening. His wife helped save some money. He's like, this is my year. This is the year when I'm going to get the finest etrog in town. So just after Yom Kippur ended, he made his way to the marketplace to go get his etrog. And on his way, he was so close, but he came upon a poor horse and carriage driver, and he could see that this person was very upset. You could see that his horse was hurt. And he says, what happened? And the poor man says, oh, this terrible thing has happened. This is my horse that I used to make a living. And just this morning, my horse fell into a pit, and woe is me. Now I don't have a way of making a living because the horse broke its leg, and I don't know how I'm going to make any money. I don't know what to do. And without hesitation, Yechiel took out all the money he had been saving to take to the market and gave it to the man. He said, please, you need this more than I do. Go buy yourself a horse so that you can pull your wagon and you can earn a living. And the poor driver was so grateful, and he blessed Yechiel. And then he continued on his way to the marketplace to get a horse. Meanwhile, Yechiel turned back around. There's no reason for him to go to the marketplace now. And he gets back home, and his wife is all excited to see what kind of etrog he got this year, but his hands were empty. Where's the etrog you went to buy? What happened? She asked. Well, in truth, I bought an etrog as big as a horse, he said. And then he told his wife all about this poor driver whose horse had become crippled and that could no longer pull the wagon. And he said, I felt like it was the right thing to do. I gave him all of our money so that he could buy another horse. I just really thought that was what I should do. And he said, you know what? It's okay. I don't need an etrog. This year, I'm going to borrow someone else's. It will be fine. Maybe next year will be my year. Well, news of Yechiel got around town very quickly, and people were very touched by his story. And so by the next morning, everyone had contributed a little bit of money and given it to Yechiel, and he took it to the marketplace, and he chose the most beautiful etrog that he could buy with that money. It was not the most exquisite, it was not the biggest, but it was his, and it was nice, and he was happy to have it, and he put it in his little special box to protect the pitom so it wouldn't break off. And when the holiday of Sukkot began, just a few days later, he held it upside down in his left hand with the pitom pointing down as you do before you say the blessing. He held the lulav with the palm and the myrtle and the willow leaves, and holding his two hands together, he recited the blessings, and then afterwards he carefully turns the etrog around so that the pitom pointed up, and he began shaking the 4 species in the 6 directions to show that God is everywhere. And then he inhaled deeply and smelled that heavenly scent of the etrog. Ah, he said, this really smells like the Garden of Eden. And his thankful heart danced happily as he celebrated Sukkot with all his friends and passed the lulav and etrog around to the rest of the family. We are just barely at the end of Yom Kippur. And if you were here yesterday as we did our Ne'ilah service at the very end, I mentioned that we're supposed to traditionally rush from Yom Kippur to Sukkot. And poor Brian got to be my my person for making that happen. And so when we did our break fast, we also used a drill to put screws, not a hammer, our first screw into the beginning of our sukkah, because the tradition is that this is not something that we're supposed to do with necessarily every holiday. It's not like Hanukkah ends and we're like, just get ready for Tu B'Shvat, everybody. But the point is that we spend all this time, the lead up to Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and then we've got the 10 days, and then we have this big day where we've done Kol Nidre, and we've done all the vidui, the confession, and we spend the day really dedicating ourselves to what we want to do in the new year and who we want to be in this new year. And then our very next holiday is a very embodied holiday that gives us this opportunity to show what we've committed to. It's this opportunity to just jump right into doing the things that we've said we're going to do, which could be, building a sukkah is in itself something we're supposed to do. But the purpose of the sukkah is to welcome in guests, right? To be a good host, to welcome people in, to recall people, our ancestors. We're supposed to shake the lulav and the etrog, which represent all these parts of our body. We are supposed to, like Yechiel, have a full heart, right? And it represents that it's not just that we are saying on Yom Kippur, okay, I'm going to promise God, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And then we sort of like casually go into them, but that we're supposed to do them wholeheartedly. And that's why we'll learn more about this during Sukkot, but the 4 different pieces of the lulav and etrog represent the different parts of our body, but the etrog is the one that's our heart, that is the most prominent, and the one that smells the best, and the one that we treat really carefully, because we are also supposed to bring our whole hearts to what we're doing. Sukkot is a Zman Simchatenu, a time of joy. So I was thinking about Rabbi Dusty's sermon from Yom Kippur about being present in what we do and choosing to be active in our lives, and share this story with you tonight to get you starting to think about Sukkot in the coming year and what commitments you made on Yom Kippur that you can start putting into action, if not immediately, then next week as Sukkot begins. So, Shabbat Shalom. We are going to turn now to Aleinu, which is on page 283. I'll invite you to rise if you're able. We'll join together. Aleinu l'shabech l'adon hakol, לתת גאולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לאחד השמו, וגורל עלינו להמליך מלכותו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. You may be seated. On page 289, the light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows, it is radiant with warmth and beauty, but soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance and our life burns down and gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory, slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. On this Shabbat, we are thinking about loved ones we lost in the past 30 days in the Shloshim period, and loved ones that we lost at this time in years past. And we are in the Shloshim period, mourning the recent loss of Thelma Block, Mitzi Kodesh, Marilyn Ruth Watson, the sister of Marcia Dare, sister-in-law to Larry Asher, and Carl Seidman, uncle of Risa Coleman. And we also observe yahrzeits on this Shabbat, remembering Janet Bardsley, Max Dover, Rita Lowenthal, Lucille Barrow, Bonnie Howell, Rebecca Letts, Mildred Sirkin Davis, Judith Goldsmith, Rabbi Mark Loeb, John Levy, Jeff Scrogum, Samuel Auerbach, George Norris, Charlotte Westall, Zilpa Davidoff, Benjamin Flax, Anna Negrin, Dora Gerkowitz, Mary Catherine Halela, Ilsa Hurst, Lynn Skolnick, and Harriet Wilmison. If there are other loved ones that you're remembering, people who brought light and life into your world, or if there are other people you want to remember, and if I mispronounce any names, please invite you to share now. Thank you. On page 294, we have words of Kaddish. I'll invite you to rise if you're able, and we'll join together. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yiroteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayeh dekol Beit Yisrael, ba'gala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudsha brechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'ramav. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to Israel, the whole world. Say together, Amen. You can have a seat, and we will conclude on page 321 with a little Adon Olam. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, בטרם כל יציר נברא, להינשא וחפצו כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי כי לא הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, להינשא וחפצו כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי כי לא הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה הוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, להינשא וחפצו כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי כי לא הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה, והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה. Shabbat Shalom. We'll join together in our motzi, and then you're all welcome to join us for some treats next door. Ready? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. Thank you for being here.